So I wanted to share a story from one of my books that is out. I saw Amazon's AI switch its tactics on a live book, which I thought was really interesting. So I released my Marines versus Zombies novel, Semper Die, on May 4th. Um, and it was kind of in the wrong it was showing in the wrong categories. I didn't want it to show in military thrillers, but Amazon decided that's what it was, and based on the cover and based on the description and stuff like that. I'm like, man, I really don't like this. It's a really hard category to compete in. But I had it in post-apocalyptic dystopian. I had it in teen and young adult, post-apocalyptic, and I was like, man, I really wanted to show there because then I'll get the bestseller tag, I'll get the number one new release tag, and those are all the things I was looking for. Well, about 16 days later, after the release, which I've never seen this take this long to do, it got the number one new release tag in teen and young adult post-apocalyptic thrillers. I was like, that is very strange for it to happen 16 days later. And what I think happened, this is speculation, not doctrine, is that it there there's no swearing in the book. That's something that I put out there, which you think is weird with Marines versus Zombies, and it wound up being commented on in the reviews because there were several readers who said, I was really concerned about reading this book after
It's a
it said
squad
in the
of Puritan
beginning.
Marines.
Yeah, we got the Amish Marines going. That's not what people are looking for. But no, what I had was a character who didn't allow swearing in the squad because he said it shows a lack of self control and we need to keep our heads. So you will not lose control while you are in the squad, and one of those is using profanity. And then it was a first person POV, so the guy pretty much says, I'm just editing it all out because we honor and respect this guy. Well, that reader wound up going on. He really enjoyed the book, but he's like, this concerned me at first, but I kept reading and I'm glad I did. Well, a couple other people commented on that as well. Well, when you have a clean book and these protagonists are about 18, 22 years old, I think Amazon's AI looked at that content and switched it to show what categories it was actually promoting it in, what categories it's actually putting it in, and that's how Semper Die got the number one release in teen and young adult post-apocalyptic. Actually, it wasn't even post-apocalyptic; it was science fiction. It was a larger category. Thomas, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Amazon has been doing this for a long time, switching books around and moving them from category to category. In fact, there's some categories I think you can only get into by Amazon manually putting you there. Like you can ask for it and you're not going to get there without them putting you there. This would be a really good question for Alex Newton because nobody knows Amazon categories quite like he does.
We're getting him.
So Alex Newton, if you don't know, puts out the K-Lytics report. Great source of news. Also, I want to give a shout out to Meg McDonald who gave us a super chat. That's actually another way to support this show. We don't mention it, but this is not a free show for us to produce, and so we really appreciate those of you who financially support the show either on Patreon or through super chat. So super chat's a feature here in YouTube where you can donate money. So thank you, Meg McDonald, for that. And Amazon does look at the content of the book, but it also looks at the content of the reviews. And so its AI and its great wisdom puts you in a category you could perform well in. So congratulations.
Which is what I said in the first place.
Yeah.